Gina Park walked slowly down the empty street. Her feet hurt after standing for 8 hours at the noodle shop. The cold wind made her pull her thin jacket tighter around her body. She was tired, but she still had homework to finish before she could sleep. Life in New Seoul was hard for a girl on her own. Gina had no family. She lived alone in a tiny apartment that cost too much money. She worked 3 jobs to pay for school and food. Some days, like today, she wondered if it was all worth it. Gina reached into her pocket and felt the small paper bill. $10. Her last $10 until payday, which was still 4 days away. She had been saving it for breakfast tomorrow, but her stomach growled now. Maybe she would buy a small snack to help her stay awake while studying. As she passed a dark alley, Gina heard a strange sound. It was like a mix between a cat's meow and a bird's chirp. She stopped and looked into the shadows. "Hello? Is someone there?" she called. The sound came again. Gina took out her phone and turned on the light. The beam cut through the darkness, landing on something that made her gasp. It was an animal, but like none she had ever seen. About the size of a cat, it had shiny black scales that seemed to swallow the light. Along its back and sides, faint blue lines glowed softly. It had a long neck and tail, with small wings folded against its body. It looked like the dragons from old stories, but real. The creature was pressed against the wall, trying to make itself small. Gina could see it was breathing fast. One of its wings looked bent the wrong way. "You're hurt," Gina said softly. "Are you lost?" The creature's eyes opened. They were deep red with slits like a cat's, but they held something more. Intelligence, understanding, pain. Gina had seen many strange things since aliens came to Earth 50 years ago. New Seoul was full of different species from space who had come to trade or live. But she had never seen anything like the small dragon. The creature tried to move away when Gina stepped closer, but it made a pained sound and stopped. "I won't hurt you," Gina said. "I promise." The dragon watched her carefully. Its eyes seemed to look right through her. Gina thought about what to do. Animal control might take it away to a lab. The Alien Help Center was closed at this hour. The creature looked hungry and scared. She made a decision. There was a small store around the corner that stayed open all night. The owner, Mr. Kim, sold food for both humans and aliens. "Wait here," she told the dragon, though she felt silly talking to it. "I'll be right back." At the store, Gina looked at the different alien foods. She had no idea what the dragon might eat. "Can I help you?" Mr. Kim asked from behind the counter. "I found an injured animal," Gina said. "I'm not sure what it is. What would be safe to feed it?" Mr. Kim scratched his head, hard to say without seeing it. "Try this." He pointed to a package of soft protein cubes. "Most space creatures can eat this. It's basic nutrition." The package cost exactly $10. Gina handed over her last money and took the food. When she returned to the alley, the dragon was still there. It lifted its head when it saw her. Gina opened the package and placed a few cubes on the ground, then stepped back. The dragon sniffed the air. Slowly, it moved forward and took a cube in its mouth. After tasting it, the creature quickly ate the rest. "You were hungry," Gina said with a smile. The dragon looked at her again. This time, Gina felt something strange, like a touch inside her mind, a feeling of gratitude. The creature's eyes seemed more bright now. It made a soft trilling sound. "You're welcome," Gina said. "I should get home. It's late." She turned to leave, then looked back at the injured dragon. It was small and hurt. The night was cold. Gina sighed. "I guess you could come with me until you're better." To her surprise, the dragon stood up. It limped toward her on 4 small legs. "You understand me?" Gina whispered in wonder. The dragon made the trilling sound again. Gina had no idea that she had just fed Ryong, the last hatchling of the Drac species, the most feared predators in 12 galaxies. or that her small act of kindness would change everything. Gina's apartment was tiny. It had just one room with a small bathroom. A bed sat in one corner, a desk in another. The kitchen was just a hot plate, a mini fridge, and a sink. But it was clean, and it was hers. "This is home," she told the dragon as she closed the door behind them. "It's not much, but it's safe." The creature looked around with curious eyes. It moved carefully, its injured wing still held close to its body. Gina filled a shallow bowl with water and placed it on the floor. "You must be thirsty too." The dragon approached the bowl and drank. Then it looked up at Gina and made that strange trilling sound again. "You need a name," Gina said, sitting on her bed. "I can't just call you dragon all the time." The creature tilted its head, watching her. "How about Shadow? Your scales are so dark." The dragon seemed to consider this. Then it blinked slowly, as if agreeing. "Shadow it is then. Let me look at your wing." When Gina reached out, Shadow moved back. "It's okay. I just want to help." Slowly, Gina extended her hand again. This time, Shadow stayed still. Very gently, Gina touched the injured wing. It felt warm and smooth. The wing didn't seem broken, just sprained. "I think you'll be okay with some rest," she said. She made a small bed for Shadow using an old towel in the corner of the room. "You can sleep here." After setting her alarm for her morning job, Gina changed clothes and got into bed. She was so tired that she fell asleep almost instantly. Across the city, in a tall glass building, a man named Taiwan Kim slammed his fist on his desk. "How could you lose it?" he shouted at the screen. On it was the face of a nervous-looking man. "The transport ship had an accident during landing," the man explained. "The containment unit was damaged. The specimen escaped before we could secure it." Taiwan ran a hand through his gray hair. "Do you have any idea how much I paid for that drac? It's the last one we know of. Its value is beyond measure. We're tracking it, sir. Its energy signature is unique. We'll find it." "You better," Taiwan said coldly, "or I'll find a replacement for you." He cut the connection. Taiwan walked to the large window in his office. The lights of New Seoul spread out below him. Somewhere out there was his prize. A young drac, one of the most feared creatures in the galaxy. Few humans knew the truth about the drac species. They looked like dragons from Earth myths, but they were far more dangerous. They could change their shape. They could speak directly into minds. And when fully grown, they could destroy entire cities with their power. That's why Taiwan wanted one. With a drac under his control, he could become the most powerful man on Earth. He pressed a button on his desk. "Hansol, come to my office." A minute later, a tall, strong man with a scar across his cheek entered. "The drac escaped," Taiwan said. "I need you to find it before anyone else does, before the Galactic Council learns it's here." Hansol nodded. "I'll take my best team. If it's in New Seoul, we'll find it. It's still young, still weak from the journey. It won't have all its powers yet. This is our chance." After Hansol left, Taiwan stared again at the city lights. "Where are you, little dragon?" he whispered. Back in Gina's apartment, Shadow was not sleeping. The young drac was watching the human girl with glowing eyes. Ryong, his true name, had come to Earth by accident. The ship carrying him had been attacked by pirates. In the chaos, his containment pod had been ejected. It had crashed on this strange planet. He had been weak, hurt, and lost when the human girl found him. Her kindness surprised him. No one had ever been kind to him before. Ryong's species was hunted, captured, and used as weapons across the galaxy. Humans did not know about Drax yet. This girl did not know what he was or what he could do. He could already feel his strength returning after eating. Soon his wing would heal too. Soon he would feel the first spark of his true powers waking up inside him. Ryong settled into the soft towel. He would stay with this kind human for now. She had given him her last money for food. Such a thing had never happened in his young life, and Raong never forgot a kindness or a cruelty. 3 days passed. Gina went to her jobs and came home tired each night. Shadow was always waiting for her, making happy sounds when she opened the door. The dragon's wing was getting better. Shadow could now move around the apartment easily, climbing on furniture and exploring every corner. Gina found herself talking to Shadow more and more. She told the dragon about her day, her dreams of finishing school, and her worries about money. It felt good to talk, even if Shadow couldn't answer back. Or so she thought. On the 4th night, Gina sat at her small desk trying to study. She had a big test tomorrow, but she couldn't focus. The words on the page seemed to swim before her eyes. "I'm just too tired," she said with a sigh. Asterisk, "You work too hard, asterisk." Jaina jumped. The words had formed in her mind, but they weren't her thoughts. They felt different. She looked around the room. "Hello." Shadow was watching her from the bed, red eyes glowing softly. Asterisk, "Hello, Gina, asterisk." Jaina's eyes went wide. "That's you. You can talk." Shadow, Raong, tilted his head. Asterisk, "Not with a voice, but I can share thoughts. My kind speaks this way, asterisk." Gina put down her book and stared at the dragon. "You're not just an animal." Asterisk, "No, I am Drak. My true name is Raong, asterisk." "Raong," Gina repeated. "That's a Korean name. It means dragon." Asterisk, "Is it? That's interesting. Names have power. Thank you for sharing yours with me, asterisk." Jaina moved to sit on the bed next to Raong. "I've never heard of the Drak before. Asterisk, few humans have. We come from far away. We are rare now, asterisk. Are there others like you on Earth?" Raong's eyes dimmed slightly. Asterisk, "No. I am alone here. I was being taken somewhere when the ship crashed. I escaped, asterisk. So someone was keeping you like a pet." Raong made a sound that was almost a laugh, but it had no joy in it. Asterisk, "Not a pet. A weapon, asterisk." "A weapon? But you're so small." Asterisk, "I am young. I will grow. My kind has abilities that others want to use, asterisk." As if to show her, Raong's scales rippled. The black color lightened, changed to match the blue of Gina's bedspread. Then it changed back. "You can change colors." Gina gasped. Asterisk, "More than colors. With time and strength, I can change form, and I can do this." Asterisk. Suddenly, Gina saw images in her mind. Strange landscapes with purple skies and floating mountains, creatures that looked like Raong, but much larger, soaring through clouds. A beautiful world that seemed made of crystal and light. "Is that your home?" she whispered when the images faded. Asterisk, "It was. Long ago, asterisk." They talked late into the night. Raong told Gina about his kind, how they lived in small groups, sharing knowledge through their mental powers, how they had once been peaceful explorers, how they had been hunted and used by other species because of their abilities. Gina told Raong more about herself too, how her parents had died when she was young, how she had no one else, how she worked so hard because she wanted to become a doctor someday. "We're both alone," she said finally, feeling her eyes grow heavy with sleep. Asterisk, "Not anymore," asterisk, Raong replied. Before she fell asleep, Gina reached out hesitantly and touched Raong's head. His scales were warm. He made a soft purring sound that made her smile. Neither of them noticed the small drone hovering outside Gina's window. It was the size of a bee, nearly invisible in the darkness. Its camera focused on the dragon, recording everything. In his office across the city, Taiwan Kim smiled as he watched the feed on his screen. "Found you," he said softly. He pressed a button on his desk. "Hansol, we have a location. Send the team now." "Yes, sir," came the reply. "What about the human girl?" Taiwan looked at Gina's sleeping form on the screen. "She's nothing. Just a complication. Deal with her if necessary. He ended the call and leaned back in his chair. Soon, the last Drac would be his. Gina woke up to a strange feeling. Something wasn't right. Ryong was not in his usual spot. Ryong, she called softly. Asterisk danger coming. Must leave now asterisk. The thought voice in her head was urgent, afraid. Gina sat up quickly. What's wrong? Asterisk bad men coming. Looking for me. Looking for you too now asterisk. A cold feeling spread through Gina's chest. How do you know? Asterisk I feel their thoughts. Close. Angry. Weapons. Asterisk. Gina didn't question Ryong further. She grabbed her backpack and quickly filled it with some clothes, her ID card, and the little money she had. She reached for Ryong, but he backed away. Asterisk can't go together. Too dangerous. I lead them away asterisk. No, I'm not leaving you, Gina said firmly. Asterisk meet later. Old factory, 2 miles south. Big brick building with broken clock asterisk. Gina knew the place. It was an abandoned factory the kids sometimes dared each other to explore. Promise you'll be there, she asked. Asterisk promise. Go now. Different ways asterisk. Gina nodded. She watched as Ryong's scales changed color, turning a dull gray like the walls. Then he slipped out through the window onto the fire escape. Gina waited only a moment before grabbing her coat and running out the door. She headed for the stairs instead of the elevator, moving quickly but trying not to look like she was running away. She was halfway down when she heard heavy footsteps coming up. Voices of men talking quietly. The word dragon reached her ears. Gina felt panic rising but forced herself to stay calm. She couldn't go down without meeting them. She turned and ran back up the stairs, past her floor to the roof access. The door was supposed to be locked, but everyone knew it was broken. The cold night air hit her face as she stepped onto the roof. The lights of New Seoul spread out in all directions. Gina looked for a way down or across to another building. The door behind her burst open. A tall man with a scar on his face stepped out, followed by 2 others. They all wore black clothes and carried what looked like guns. You, girl, stop right there, the scared man said. Gina backed away until she hit the low wall at the edge of the roof. Where is the Drac? The man demanded. I don't know what you're talking about, Gina said, trying to keep her voice steady. The man stepped closer. The dragon creature. We know it was in your apartment. Where is it now? There was no dragon. Please, I need to go to work. The man raised his weapon. This isn't a game. That creature is worth more than your life. Tell us where it went. Before Gina could answer, the roof door opened again. A new person stepped out. He was wearing a blue uniform with a silver badge, the mark of the Galactic Council, the group that managed relations between Earth and other planets. Hansol, the new man said. I thought I might find you here. The scared man, Hansol, turned in surprise. Agent Lee, this doesn't concern the Council. A Drac on Earth. That very much concerns us, Agent Lee replied. He looked at Gina. My name is Jun-Ho Lee. I'm with the Galactic Council. Are you all right, miss? Gina wasn't sure who to trust. Both men wanted Ryong. I'm fine, she said. I don't know anything about dragons. Jun-Ho studied her face. I think you do. But right now, you need to come with me for your own safety. Hansol stepped forward. She's coming with us. Taiwan Kim wants to speak with her. Jun-Ho's hand moved to his own weapon. That's not happening. For a tense moment, everyone stood frozen. Then Hansol smiled coldly. Another time then. He nodded to his men, and they backed away toward the door. After they left, Jun-Ho turned to Gina. They'll be watching the building. I need to get you somewhere safe. Why should I trust you? Gina asked. Because if I wanted to hurt you or capture your dragon friend, I would have helped them, not stopped them, Jun-Ho said simply. Gina thought quickly. She needed to get away from both groups and meet Ryong at the factory. "Okay," she said. "I'll go with you." She had no intention of telling him anything about Ryong, but for now, Agent Junho Lee seemed like her best chance to get off this roof alive. Junho took Gina to a small office in the Galactic Council building. The walls were plain white. There was just a table and 2 chairs. "Please sit," Junho said. His voice was polite but firm. Gina sat down, keeping her backpack close. She needed to find a way out soon to meet Ryong at the factory. Junho placed a folder on the table. "Do you know what a drac is, Gina?" "I don't know what you're talking about," she said. Junho opened the folder and took out a picture. It showed a creature that looked like Ryong, but much bigger. Its black scales shone in the light, and its eyes glowed red. It stood tall on its back legs, with its wings spread wide. "This is an adult drac," Junho said, "one of the most dangerous species in the known universe." Gina tried not to show any reaction, but her heart was beating fast. Dracs can change their shape. They can read and control minds, and they can destroy entire cities with their power, Junho continued. The Galactic Council has classified them as a level 1 threat. Do you understand what that means? Gina shook her head. It means they are to be contained or eliminated on sight. That's not fair, Gina said before she could stop herself. You can't judge all of them the same. Junho raised an eyebrow. So you do know something. Gina realized her mistake and fell silent. Gina, Junho said more gently, I need you to understand the danger. Taiwan Kim is a powerful man who collects rare alien species. He wants the drac for himself. He will hurt anyone who gets in his way. Why do you care? Gina asked. Because I don't want to see you get hurt, and because a drac on Earth could cause a disaster. He leaned forward. Tell me where it is. I can help. Gina stood up. I need to use the bathroom. Junho sighed. Down the hall to the left. But there are guards at every exit. Don't try to leave. In the bathroom, Gina splashed water on her face. She needed to think. Could she trust Junho? Could she trust anyone? She looked at her watch. 1 hour until she was supposed to meet Ryong. The bathroom window was small, but Gina was small too. She climbed up and squeezed through, dropping into an alley behind the building. Then she ran. The old factory was dark and quiet. Gina slipped through a hole in the fence and went inside. Broken machines and empty crates filled the big space. Moonlight came through holes in the roof. Ryong, she called softly. Are you here? For a long moment, there was no answer. Then, from the shadows, asterisk here, Gina, asterisk. Ryong stepped into a beam of moonlight. Gina ran to him, relief washing over her. You're okay. I was so worried. Asterisk you came, even after what they told you asterisk. Gina realized Ryong had been reading her thoughts. Junho said dracs are dangerous, that you could destroy cities. Ryong's eyes dimmed. Asterisk it is true. My kind has great power when fully grown, but it is not true that we want to harm others asterisk. Then why does everyone fear you? Asterisk, let me show you asterisk. Images filled Gina's mind again. This time, she saw dracs being captured, fitted with metal collars that caused pain, forced to use their powers as weapons in wars that were not their own. Entire planets turned to ash, not by drac choice, but by those who control them. She saw Ryong as a baby, born in a cage, never knowing freedom, being sold to Taiwan Kim as a rare prize. When the images stopped, tears ran down Gina's face. I'm so sorry, she whispered. Asterisk our power made us targets. We were peaceful before they came. We used our gifts to share knowledge, to explore, to create. Not to destroy asterisk. Gina wiped her tears away. I believe you, and I'll help you stay free. A sound at the factory entrance made them both turn. Flashlight beams cut through the darkness. They found us, Gina whispered. Asterisk, stay behind me, asterisk, Round said. His body seemed to grow larger. His scales began to glow with a blue light. Don't hurt them, Gina pleaded. Asterisk, I will only protect us. I promise. Asterisk. The men entered the main room, weapons ready. Hansol led them. His scared face twisted in a smile when he saw Raung and Gina. There you are, he said. Come quietly, and we won't have to hurt the girl. Raung stepped forward. His eyes glowed so bright they lit up the whole room. And for the first time, Gina saw what others feared in the Drac. Raung stood tall between Gina and Hansol's men. The blue light from his scales grew brighter. The air around him seemed to bend and wave like heat over hot pavement. Last chance, Hansol said. Come with us now. Raung's answer was a low growl that shook the floor. Then he opened his mouth and released a burst of blue fire. It didn't hit the men, but it formed a wall between them and Gina. The men stepped back in surprise. They raised their weapons. Don't shoot, a voice called from behind them. Junho pushed his way through the group. Lower your weapons. Hansol turned in anger. This doesn't concern you, Agent Lee. That's where you're wrong, Junho said. He held up his badge. By order of the Galactic Council, I'm taking control of this situation. While they argued, Raung spoke in Jinna's mind. Asterisk, the one called Junho. His thoughts are not like the others. He is curious, not just afraid, asterisk. Can we trust him? Gina whispered. Asterisk, not fully, but he may help us escape these others, asterisk. The blue fire was fading. Hansol noticed and raised his weapon again. Enough talk. Take them both. But before his men could move, Junho stepped forward. He walked through the dying flames and stood next to Raung and Gina. If you want them, you'll have to go through me, he said. Hansol laughed. One man and a girl won't stop us. And the Drac? Junho asked. Are you ready to face what it can do? Even a young one can be deadly when threatened. Hansol's smile faded. He looked at Raung with new caution. Taiwan will hear about this, he said finally. He won't be happy. I'm sure we'll be seeing each other again, Junho replied. Hansol gave a signal, and his men backed away. They left the factory, but everyone knew they wouldn't go far. When they were alone, Junho turned to Gina and Raung. We don't have much time. They'll call for backup. Why did you help us? Gina asked. Junho looked at Raung. Because I saw something I didn't expect. I saw it protect you, not attack. It could have killed those men, but it only created a barrier. Asterisk, he begins to understand, asterisk, Raung said in Gina's mind. Can you hear him too? Gina asked Junho. Junho shook his head. No, but I've studied the Drac. I know they can speak to minds. Does it speak to you? His name is Raung. And yes, he talks to me. Junho's eyes widened. Remarkable. The reports say Dracs only form mental bonds with their own kind. Asterisk, tell him I can speak to him too, if he allows it, asterisk. Gina relayed the message. Junho hesitated, then nodded. I would like that. Raung's eyes glowed as he focused on Junho. The agent gasped. I can hear you, he whispered. This is amazing. Asterisk, now, you see I am not just a dangerous animal, asterisk, Raung said to both of them. The council has been wrong about many things, Junho admitted, but that doesn't change our problem. Taiwan Kim is powerful and determined. He won't stop hunting you. What can we do? Gina asked. Junho thought for a moment. I have an idea, but it's risky. Tell us, Gina said. Taiwan's business deals in rare alien species. Most of it is illegal. If we can find proof, the council can shut him down and arrest him. Asterisk, where would we find such proof, asterisk? In his private collection facility. It's outside the city. Gina frowned. You want us to break in? That's crazy. Not break in, Junho said. I can get us inside. I've been investigating Taiwan for months. I have a way in. Asterisk, it is dangerous, asterisk, Raung said. Asterisk, but staying here is also dangerous. They will find us again, asterisk. Gina looked at Raung, then at Junho. If we do this, you have to promise to help Raung stay free. No containment, no tests, nothing. Junho nodded. I promise. The council needs to learn the truth about the Drac. This could change everything. Suddenly, they heard vehicles outside the factory. They're back, Gina said. Junho moved quickly to a side door. This way. My car is hidden nearby. As they ran into the night, Gina felt afraid, but also hopeful. For the first time, they had an ally. Maybe, just maybe, they had a chance. Behind them, a dark shape watched from the shadows. A woman with cold eyes spoke quietly into a communicator. Agent Lee is helping them escape. Should I follow? Yes, Taiwan's voice replied. Follow them, but don't interfere. Let them lead us to the Drac's full potential. Junho drove them far from the city. His car moved quickly through the dark countryside. Gina sat in the back seat with Raung, who had made himself smaller to fit better. Taiwan's facility is hidden in the mountains, Junho explained. It looks like a research center from the outside. But inside, he keeps all kinds of alien creatures. How do we get in? Gina asked. Junho reached into his pocket and pulled out a card. With this, it belongs to my partner, Agent Mayra Kim. She has access. Does she know you're using it? Junho shook his head. No, I couldn't risk telling anyone. The council has strict rules about Dracs. If they knew I was helping one. He didn't finish, but they understood. He could lose his job, or worse. Asterisk, his heart is true. Asterisk, Raung told Gina privately. Asterisk, he wants to help, asterisk. The car turned onto a small road that went up the mountain. Trees lined both sides, making it very dark. We're almost there, Junho said. Once we're inside, we need to find Taiwan's private office. That's where he keeps his records. As they rounded a curve, bright lights suddenly shone in their faces. 3 black vehicles blocked the road ahead. Junho hit the brakes hard. No. How did they find us? The doors of the black vehicles opened. Hansol stepped out of the middle one, smiling. Next to him stood a woman in a Galactic Council uniform. Agent Mayra. Junho whispered in shock. She's working with them. I'm sorry it had to be this way. Junho, Mayra called out. You should have stayed out of this. Hansol's men surrounded the car, weapons ready. There was nowhere to run. Give us the Drac, Hansol demanded, and maybe we'll let you two live. Gina looked at Raung. The young Drac's eyes were glowing brighter than she had ever seen them. Asterisk, I'm sorry, Gina. I must fight now, asterisk. Wait, she started to say, but it was too late. Raung's body began to change. He grew larger, his scales expanding, his wings spreading wide. The car's roof bent upward as he pushed against it. With a sound like thunder, Raung burst through the roof of the car. He was now the size of a horse, his wings spanning 20 feet. Blue fire flickered around his mouth. Fire, Hansol shouted. The men raised their weapons. Junho pulled Gina down just as they began to shoot. Strange blue energy beams hit Raung, but they seemed to bounce off his scales. Raung opened his mouth and released a jet of blue fire. It hit one of the vehicles, melting it instantly. The men scattered in fear. Mayra aimed a different kind of weapon at Raung. This neural disruptor will stop it. Hold your ground. But before she could fire, Junho jumped out of the car and tackled her. The weapon flew from her hands. Run, Gina, he shouted as he struggled with Mayra. Gina scrambled out of the car. Hansol was coming toward her, his face twisted with anger. She backed away, looking for somewhere to hide. Suddenly, a roar shook the air. Raung landed between Gina and Hansol, his tail lashing out to knock Hansol off his feet. Asterisk climb on my back. Asterisk Ryong told Gina. Asterisk we must leave now. Asterisk. But Junho. A shot rang out. Junho cried in pain and fell to the ground. Myray stood over him, holding a small gun. Junho. Gina screamed. Asterisk we cannot help him now. More will come. We must go. Asterisk. Tears in her eyes, Gina climbed onto Ryong's back. His scales were warm and smooth. She held tight to the ridge along his neck. With powerful beats of his wings, Ryong lifted into the air. Gina gasped as the ground fell away beneath them. The wind rushed past her face as they climbed higher. Below, Myray was shouting into a communicator. Hansol was back on his feet, watching them fly away with fury in his eyes. They shot Junho, Gina said, her voice breaking. He was trying to help us. Asterisk I am sorry. But now we must find another way. Asterisk. As they flew through the night sky, Gina looked at Ryong's powerful wings and body. He was bigger, stronger. What else would change as he continued to grow? And somewhere far above them, a strange light appeared in the sky, moving fast toward Earth. Ryong flew through the night with Gina on his back. They landed deep in the forest, far from any roads or houses. Gina slid off his back, her legs shaking from the flight and from fear. What do we do now? She asked. Junho was our only help. Ryong lowered his head to look at her with his glowing eyes. He was now much bigger than when she had first found him. Asterisk, we must go to Taiwan directly. Asterisk. What? Gina couldn't believe what she was hearing. That's crazy. He wants to capture you. Asterisk, yes. But now it is the only way to stop him. And to save Junho, if he still lives. Asterisk. Gina sat on a fallen tree, trying to think. How would we even find Taiwan? Asterisk, I can find him. I can feel the minds of those who hunt me. They lead back to him. Asterisk. As they talked, the strange light in the sky grew bigger. It was coming closer to Earth, but they didn't notice it yet. In a bright, clean room, Junho lay on a bed. Machines beeped around him. His shoulder was bandaged where Myray had shot him. Taiwan Kim stood at the foot of the bed, watching him. Myray stood by the door. Why keep him alive? She asked. He knows too much. Because he might still be useful, Taiwan said. The Drac seems to trust him. Junho opened his eyes slowly. When he saw where he was, he tried to sit up. Don't strain yourself, Agent Lee, Taiwan said smoothly. You're lucky to be alive. Where's Gina? Where's Ryong? Junho demanded. Taiwan raised an eyebrow. Ryong? Is that what they call it? Interesting. The Drac escaped with the girl, Myray said, but they won't get far. Junho glared at her. How long have you been working for him? Long enough, she answered. The council doesn't pay nearly as well. A man in a white coat entered the room. Sir, you need to see this. Taiwan followed him out. On a large screen in the next room, a satellite image showed a ship entering Earth's atmosphere. It's coming straight for us, the man said, and it's sending a message. The message played through speakers. Attention, humans of Earth. We have detected a Drac on your planet. This is a Class 1 threat to the galaxy. Surrender the Drac to us, or we will take action to remove the threat ourselves. Taiwan's face went pale. Who are they? The Galactic Security Force, Junho said from the doorway. He was leaning against the wall, holding his injured shoulder. They hunt Dracs, and they won't care who gets hurt in the process. In the forest, Ryong suddenly raised his head. His whole body tensed. Asterisk, they are here. Asterisk. Who? Gina asked. Asterisk, old enemies. Hunters. They have found me. Asterisk. The light in the sky was now clearly a ship. It was moving toward the city. Asterisk, Gina. I must grow again. I must reach my full power. But I need your help. Asterisk. Anything, she said without hesitation. What can I do? Asterisk, trust me completely. Open your mind to me. Share your strength asterisk. Jaina nodded. I trust you, Raong. Raong placed his head against Gina's. His scales began to glow brighter, changing from blue to white. Energy flowed between them. Gina gasped as she felt Raong's mind fully join with hers. She saw his entire life. His birth, his capture, his journey to Earth. She felt his pain, his fear, and his hope. And he felt hers too. Her loneliness, her struggles, her dreams. The moment she had given her last $10 to feed a strange creature in an alley. The white light grew until it surrounded them both. When it faded, Raong had changed again. He now stood as tall as a small building. His wings stretched wide enough to cast shadows over half the forest. His scales shimmered with patterns of light that seemed to hold galaxies within them. But the biggest change was in his eyes. They held wisdom and power beyond anything Gina had ever seen. Asterisk now, asterisk, Raong said, his mental voice strong and clear. Asterisk, we end this. Together. Asterisk. Gina climbed onto his back again. This time, she wasn't afraid. As they rose into the air, flying toward the alien ship and toward Taiwan's facility, Gina knew that nothing would ever be the same again. The alien ship hovered over Taiwan's mountain facility. It was round and silver, with lights that pulsed along its edges. Smaller ships flew out from it, circling the area. Inside the facility, Taiwan watched the screens with growing fear. We need to give them the Drac, Mayray said. No, Taiwan shouted. It's mine. I paid too much to give it up now. Junho laughed weakly from where he stood. You still don't understand what you're dealing with. An alarm began to sound. One of Taiwan's men ran into the room. Sir, the Drac is coming. It's huge. On the screens, they saw Raong flying toward them. His massive form filled the sky, his wings blocking out the stars. And on his back was Gina. Activate all defenses. Taiwan ordered. Prepare the neural disruptor. Junho shook his head. It's too late for that. Raong landed outside the facility with enough force to shake the ground. Gina slid from his back and stood beside him. They faced the building together. Asterisk, stay close to me. Asterisk, Raong told her. The alien ships were circling above them now. A voice boomed from them. Drac, surrender or be destroyed. Raong ignored them. He focused on the facility doors. With a sweep of his tail, he smashed them open. Alarms blared inside. Guards came running out, firing weapons. The energy beams hit Raong, but did nothing. He walked forward calmly, Gina beside him. Everyone who tried to stop them was gently but firmly pushed aside by invisible force. They moved through the building until they reached the main control room. Taiwan was there, standing behind a large machine, the neural disruptor. Mayray stood next to him, holding a gun to Junho's head. Stop right there, Taiwan shouted. One more step and he dies. Gina froze, but Raong continued forward. I said stop. Taiwan activated the disruptor. A wave of energy hit Raong. For a moment, his steps faltered. He made a sound of pain that broke Gina's heart. Raong, she cried. She ran toward the machine. No, Junho shouted. Mayray fired her gun. Gina didn't have time to dodge. But the bullet never hit her. It stopped in the air, held by Raong's power. Every object in the room began to float. The neural disruptor lifted from the floor and crumpled like paper. Taiwan backed away in fear. What is this? This is what you wanted, Junho said. The true power of a Drac. But it's not what you thought. Raong's eyes glowed white. Suddenly, everyone in the room, Taiwan, Mayray, the guards, even the alien hunters outside, felt a presence in their minds. Raong was sharing his memories with all of them. They saw the peaceful Drac civilization. They felt the pain of being hunted, captured, and used as weapons. They understood the truth that had been hidden for so long. But most of all, They felt what Ryong felt when Gina had found him, weak, hurt, and alone, and given him her last $10 to buy him food. They felt the simple kindness that had changed everything. When the vision ended, there was silence. Mei Ray lowered her gun. Taiwan fell to his knees. The voice from the alien ship spoke again, but softer now. We did not know. For centuries, we believed Dracs were monsters. Asterisk now, you know the truth, asterisk Ryong replied, his thought voice reaching everyone. Asterisk we were never the monsters. We were victims, like so many others, asterisk. What happens now? Gina asked. Junho stepped forward, freed from Mirai's grip. Now we make things right. 1 month later, Gina stood in a new building in the center of New Seoul. It was the first Drac-human cultural center. People and aliens from all over came to learn the truth about the Drac species. Junho, now promoted in the Galactic Council, worked to change the laws about Dracs and other misunderstood species. Taiwan was in prison, his illegal collection freed. And Ryong was Earth's first ambassador to the stars. He traveled between worlds, sharing knowledge and building peace, but he always returned to visit Gina. Did you ever think this would happen? Junho asked her as they watched a group of children listening to Ryong's stories. All because you gave your last $10 to a strange creature in an alley. Gina smiled. It wasn't about the money. It was about seeing someone who needed help and caring enough to do something. Ryong looked over at her, his eyes glowing warmly. Asterisk some gifts, asterisk he told her privately. Asterisk are beyond any price. Your kindness taught me that humans could be trusted again. And it taught others that kindness can change the universe, asterisk. And in that moment, Gina knew that her simple act of giving had indeed changed everything. Not just for Ryong, but for all of them.